Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, the citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I simply cannot get it out of my head. I can't get it out of my mind. It just don't make any sense to me. I think the reason why it doesn't make any sense to me, I guess I would have to credit this to my military training. I don't know how I would have responded. Well, let me say this. I probably do know how I would have responded because I'm a man. You know, in the military, we're taught if you hear fire, you go to the fire. You go to the fire. And the reason why you go to the fire because you want to neutralize whoever it is that is firing any particular weapon. And when you think about Orlando and how people should respond, you know, this is why training is so very important. As Sister Carol and I was coming across the border over into Canada, the first question that they asked us after they took our passports is, do you have any guns? And look at this list right here. And this lets you know that Canada is pretty much a liberal society. But they're concerned about, do you have any guns? Did you have any mace? Any knives? Or what else?
Pepper spray.
Oh, did you have any pepper spray? Anything that could consider to be lethal. Now, what's amazing is this. It's one thing to have those items. It really, truly is. In order to defend yourself. And of course, I personally think that you should. But it's another thing to also, again, here we go again, invest in yourself. What do I mean by that? Think about this for a second. Think about this. What if you knew some type of close quarters combat? What if you had boxing for a skill? What if you had a background in jiu-jitsu and stuff? Now, we all know that any of these disciplines, they don't work like on black belt theater or kung fu theater and stuff like that, where people are flying around, jumping all up in these trees and carry on and stuff. When you look at mixed martial arts, MMA pretty much lets you know how the fight is going to go. But ultimately, and I'll say it again, it usually starts off with boxing. And so, therefore, you need to learn a discipline of boxing. The reason being because you need a good platform. And I'm not going to go into all that. But I still can't square it in my mind. And that's why I keep saying that there's something chemically wrong. There's a chemical imbalance. Because men, if that gun, whatever it is, whatever or weapon he was using was going off in that nightclub, a man or group of men would have went straight to the threat. At this point, he's already going to get some of you, but he may not get all of you. And chances are, you may live, you may not, but why sit down, lay down, and just roll over and die? I mean, you only have one life. Shouldn't you fight to the death in order to try to maintain it? I mean, it just don't make sense. What are your thoughts on it, Carol? What are your thoughts about a man or all these people in his club not bum rushing this one shooter, if that was the case?
Well, in my opinion, if that is what happened, and it was 300 people in that club and one gunman, surely he had to unload at some point. Surely there was a pause where he was looking for more victims. From my understanding, people were running, they were hiding in bathrooms and things like that, to that nature.
Yeah, texting on phones.
Someone could have been behind him, come up behind him, 3 or 4, tackled him to the ground. Sure, one of them may have been shot, but you could have saved a lot of people. And one of my questions is, I was speaking with Sister Wenda, and she brought it up, that where's all the footage inside the club? So that we could see actually what happened.
Well, you know that people, if they have them cell phones and everything, people record everything.
Yes, sir.
And it is, we're going to see if it's coming out or not. I have questions too. I have questions because, you know, the first thing that people like us in the know is we want to throw the word and the term false flag out. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing that we can ever trust with the government whatsoever at all, especially when you're looking at interviews and you seeing this cop smiling while people are interviewing, and then he's winking his eye. And then there was this one guy, he was a homosexual, he was on there, he was crying, and not one tear was falling from his eyes. Not one tear was falling from his eyes. I mean, even if all that y'all had was cell phones, LGBT, y'all could have threw 100 cell phones at him and threw him off, and somebody could have tackled him. Everybody said, well, yeah, that's what you said. I guess, think about this. I think like this, and it's always in my mindset and in my rationale, probably because I'm a soldier. I'm a veteran. Are you following me? And I've somewhat trained straightway how to neutralize an attack. If we're sitting in our church setting and somebody think they're going to come in and want to do some type of physical or bodily harm, or if they want to be a maniac or whatever it is, we pretty much have a nice security set up inside the assembly in itself. But as I start to rethink things and stuff, I am actually literally going to have to take time. I think when I get back, I'm actually going to go into even more detailed training, just how to behave as an assembly, because when you train and you get this training down inside of you, it becomes second nature. And a lot of people say, well, when you shoot somebody, you're going to be nervous and stuff. I'm not going to be nervous. I'm not nervous if I'm shooting a deer, or if I'm shooting a turkey, or if I'm shooting some animal or something. I'm not nervous at all. And neither will I be nervous at shooting a human being. It's all about maintaining discipline and integrity throughout the squeeze, throughout the trigger. But I mean, there's much to be desired. I think I've said enough here, and at least enough to give us some thought. I think that if you have any type of professional instruction inside of you, and I believe you're a professional not because you have a piece of paper, but because of experience, I think that you should do everything you can to teach the people. And I believe that when we get back on first days, I'm probably going to take a couple of hours out on first days. I just need to get my mind together, and I'm probably going to teach the people in the sanctuary. I'm going to teach them, and teach them also on the grounds how to neutralize a threat if it comes in. And I'm sure Pastor Fox is doing the same thing and stuff, but it's almost like today that nobody even wants to hear from the veterans. What do you think that is, Carol?
I believe they feel like veterans are a threat. They're unstable in their mind, and in all actuality, they are the ones that are trained, have the fortitude to be able to lay down their life if there is a threat. They don't operate in fear like others do, and I believe that fears the government because they don't have that fear.
I can't see being, I guess because I've been around so much small arms fire and a bunch of things that go boom, I just cannot see it, running around with all that many people, and this guy's definitely going to eliminate somebody and send him off into eternity. I just can't see. I mean, you've seen me in situations just out in the civilian realm and stuff when there's something going on. You see, I go straight to the threat.
Yes, sir.
And we're not going to mention all that right now, but I mean, we've been married for 30-something years, so you've seen me in action a few times. And it's just something that's just programmed. It's just in there. And I think that training will eliminate a lot of these fears and a lot of these what I call social disorders that is taking place today. But anyway, hey, shalom, have a good day.